They told me to get ready for a surprise baby shower. Trust us, they said. It's gonna be the event of the year. So, I marked my calendar and tried to stay out of it. When the day finally rolled around, I showed up to the address they sent me. But as soon as I stepped in, I saw gold letters stretched across the back wall that read, "Happy 30th, Queen Rachel." And there she was, my sister, standing up on stage. That was my cake. My guest list. My party. Then came the alert. My card had racked up 34 charges. Altogether? Over $8,300. When I called my mom, she hit me with, "Oh honey, we accidentally gave her your date. But not to worry, they'd throw me another one soon," she promised. I just said, "Well, color me surprised." Then I went into damage control mode, froze all the payments, flagged the vendors, and dropped a screenshot in the family group chat. My sister called me up, practically giggling into the phone. "Just trust us," she said. "This baby shower's gonna be one for the books. All you gotta do is show up." Truth is, I didn't even ask for a party. I'm not usually one for all that fuss. But after everything I'd been through during this pregnancy, the cold shoulders, the snide remarks about my body, the half-hearted congrats, hearing my mom actually excited about doing something for me? It felt rare. A little sketchy, sure. But still rare. "We've got it all covered," she said. "Venue, guests, food, just wear something cute." So I let myself believe it. That was my mistake. The big day arrived. I was 7 months pregnant, feet swollen like balloons, absolutely exhausted, but I made the trip to the event hall in Marietta anyway. My fiancé couldn't make it, had to work, so I waddled in alone, wearing this soft pink dress that barely zipped. Hopeful. Nervous. Tired. I stepped inside and saw the gold lettering again. "Happy 30th, Queen Rachel." A whole setup, stage, champagne, balloons. And right in the spotlight stood my sister. My name's Rachel too. But that girl up there? That was my younger sister, Rachel Rose. She's 4 years younger than me. Taller. Louder. And apparently she was turning 30. She was even wearing my dress, the same pale blue one from my engagement shoot last spring. Her hair was styled the same way I had mine for the baby announcement. And behind her sat a cake I'd only seen before on my Pinterest board. I stood there frozen. She looked right at me, paused, then beamed into the mic. "Well, look who finally decided to show up. My big sister, everybody. Say hi to our guest of honor, sort of." Laughter rippled through the crowd. I turned around, scanning the faces. People I hadn't seen in forever. A few coworkers. My aunt's weird boyfriend. Even my college roommate from way back in 2019, smiling like this was totally normal. Then my purse buzzed. A bank alert. "Your card has been used 34 times in the past 6 hours. Total amount, $8,326.91. I opened the app and started scrolling through the charges. Venue. Cake. Balloons. Photo booth. All of it was under my name. All of it pulled from the account I'd been saving for the baby. I tried calling my mom again. No answer. A moment later, I got a text. "We accidentally gave her your date, but don't worry, we'll do yours soon. Promise." I didn't respond. Instead, I stepped outside and stood there in the parking lot, hands trembling, belly heavy, chest on fire. I took a deep breath, opened the family group chat, and dropped a screenshot, a payment confirmation from Balloons and Bliss Events. Underneath, I typed, "Well, color me surprised." Then I froze every single transaction, flagged the vendors, and walked myself to the car. They said it would be the baby's shower of the year. They weren't wrong. Funny thing about betrayal, it makes you question everything. My brain kept trying to convince me this had to be a mistake. A mix-up, maybe? Like they said? But then I opened my calendar. 2 months ago, they asked me what weekend worked best for the shower. I told them, May 12th. That was today. They didn't just hijack a random date. They took my date. On purpose. That night I didn't sleep. I sat at the edge of my bed, combing through every charge, every receipt, every vendor I'd contacted. Cake? $120. Venue deposit? $2,000. Balloons and decorations? $1,300. And the kicker, $2, 800 for a sushi bar I never even laid eyes on. This wasn't just a prank or poor planning. It was theft. And I had funded the whole thing myself. I tried calling my mom again, nothing. But then a message popped up in the family group chat. Let's not make a scene over a little mix-up. You know how your sister is. She just wanted her 30th to feel special. My sister chimed in right after. It was your money, so technically, you were still part of it. I felt sick. That was the moment it clicked. This wasn't some one-off fluke. This is what they'd always done. I started scrolling back through old bank statements. Charges I couldn't even place. November, $500 to a party rental place. December, $780 to a photography studio. And then I remembered. That holiday party my sister threw. And her big engagement shoot she never posted. Because there was no engagement. Yet somehow, my card had paid for it all. I called my fiancé. He picked up on the second ring, voice groggy. What's going on? I couldn't even explain. I just whispered. They'd been stealing from me for months. 3 days later, I got another baby shower invite. This time it came from my aunt. Same venue, same address, just with my name on it. The new date was June 23rd. Allegedly, this one was actually for me. But it all felt fake. Performative. So I replied with a simple question. Who's footing the bill for this one? No one answered. But then my cousin Sophie, always the peacekeeper, slid into my DMs. They'd been telling people you canceled the shower out of jealousy. Said you couldn't handle Rachel getting attention? My heart dropped. They weren't sorry. They were rewriting the story. I didn't bother replying to Sophie. Instead, I opened my email and checked the vendor correspondence. I'd already frozen the payments, so I wanted to see who'd try to reverse it. Next morning, I got an email from one of the vendors, Nico. Not angry. Just confused. Apparently, someone had called pretending to be me, trying to unfreeze the payment. Said she had authorization. One vendor even attached a voice message for security. I hit play. Hi, this is Rachel Carter. I'm so sorry, there was a mix-up with my account. Please go ahead and process the payment. Thanks again for everything you did for the party. It meant the world. It was her. My sister. I stared at the audio wave, stomach churning. She didn't even bother disguising her voice. She didn't have to. She was counting on what she always had, me staying quiet. But this time, I wasn't staying quiet. Then came the gut punch from my dad. He's not the type to reach out unless someone's on life support, or he needs a ride to the VA. But that Friday afternoon, I got a text that knocked the air out of me. Don't punish the whole family for a mistake. Be the bigger person. We all know you don't need the money. Then came the follow-up, like a slap across the face. You chose to keep that baby. So act like a mother and stop creating drama. I dropped my phone. My chest tightened, like all the oxygen in the room had been vacuumed out. I wanted to scream. Instead, I opened my notes app and started typing. I made a list. $8,300 in stolen funds. Vendor impersonation. A fake baby shower invitation. Group chat humiliation. Emotional manipulation. Gaslighting from both parents. You chose to keep that baby. I didn't cry. I created a folder. I labeled it receipts. The next night, I got tagged in a Facebook post. It was a group photo from the birthday bash, my hijacked baby shower. The caption read, "We pulled off the surprise of the year. Happy birthday to our radiant Rachel. Some people show up late, others show up bitter." There it was, my cake, my flowers, my guests. Even the sign and board I'd hand-lettered in gold ink months ago. Except now, my name was scratched out with a thick black Sharpie. In its place? My sister's milestones. I screenshotted everything. Then I did something they never expected. I logged into every vendor portal I could access and started submitting reports. Unauthorized charges. Identity fraud. Uploaded the audio file of her pretending to be me. But that wasn't the final blow. The final blow came from my fiancé. I didn't know he'd called her. But after seeing the Facebook post and hearing me sobbing in the shower for the second night in a row, he'd hit his limit. He called her and asked point blank, "Did you really use her money for your party?" Her response? "It's not like she can't afford it." She's hormonal. You know how pregnant women get. He recorded the call. And then he sent it to me. And I'll never forget what he did next. He dropped it into the family group chat. No caption. Just the audio. It started with her giggling and ended in total silence. That was the crack. 2 days later, an invite popped up. Family dinner. Private room. Italian restaurant. 7 p.m. No kids. No plus ones. It felt less like an olive branch and more like a velvet-lined trap. The message from my mom read, "You've made your point. Let's put this behind us. For the baby." I didn't respond. Instead, I packed a bag. Slipped a flash drive into a black leather case. Printed screenshots. Made labels. Family fraud, 2025. Then I sent a single text, not to them, but to him. My fiancé. My witness. We weren't doing this alone. The restaurant was too warm. Candlelight flickering like it was date night, not a damage control session. My mom had already ordered ahead: pasta, breadsticks, a bottle of wine I couldn't even drink. She lit up when she saw me. "Look at you, glowing." I didn't smile back. Dad nodded but didn't say a word. "And Rachel?" She was in white. Again. Like this was her encore. She held out a small wrapped gift. "I got you a onesie," she said. "It says world's most dramatic baby." "Just a joke." I nodded. "Cute," I said. "I brought something too." I pulled out the manila folder and laid it flat on the table like a royal flush. Mom squinted. "What's this?" I clicked a remote. Behind me, a portable projector hummed to life. I'd booked the room under a corporate alias so no one would question the tech setup. They hadn't even noticed the white pull-down screen behind me until it lit up. Audio file 1. "Hi, this is Rachel Carter. I'm so sorry, there was a mix-up with my account." My voice. Except, not mine. My sister turned pale. Dad leaned forward. I stayed calm. "That's her, impersonating me on a vendor call. Approving charges to a card that wasn't hers. In most states, that's felony fraud. Turn that off," Dad said, his jaw tightening. "This isn't why we came here." Click. Audio file 2. "She's hormonal. You know how pregnant women get." My sister's voice, laughing. My fiancé had recorded that call. Then came the slideshow, screenshots of the Facebook posts, the sharpest slash on the memory wall, the group chat jabs, the charges totaling $8,326.91. And just for extra flair, a screenshot of her Instagram, where she posted a picture of my dream cake with the caption, "Real queens don't need permission." I looked her in the eye. "You stole my baby shower," she snapped. "Borrowed. God. And anyway, you never said you were paying for everything. You just do that. It's what you're good at." Mom jumped in, voice syrupy. "Sweetheart, let's not escalate." Too late. From the back of the room, a voice spoke. Calm. Clear. "It didn't escalate," she documented. They turned. My fiancé stepped forward, holding a letter, neatly folded, official. "Filed complaint," he said. "Dated. Submitted to the payment processor. We included the audio." He looked right at my parents. "We're not just pressing charges. We're freezing the joint savings account too." Mom stood up, eyes wide. "You can't. That's for the baby." I cut in. "No. That was for the baby shower. The one you let her steal." Dad finally spoke. "This is disgusting. What kind of daughter does this?" I didn't flinch. "The kind that's done. The kind that's 7 months pregnant, and still footing the bill for people who'd gladly erase her for a little attention." Then I reached into my purse. Pulled out an ultrasound photo. Placed it on the table next to the folder. "You won't know her name. You won't see her face. You won't hold her. Ever." Rachel scoffed. "Oh, come on. You're not serious." I turned to her. Calm as ever. "You used my money. My guest list. My identity. And you laughed about it when I caught you. You're not a sister. You're a leech in a tiara." Silence. Then, from the corner of the room, "Amen to that." It was Aunt Diane. I hadn't even seen her come in. Apparently, Mom had invited her to. Keep the peace. She'd been quiet the whole time. Until now. I knew something was off, she said, standing up. She asked me to call it her shower. Said you didn't deserve one. Said you were acting all motherly just because you got lucky one night. Mom gasped. Diane, stop. No, she said. I'm done covering for all of you. Then she turned to me. You're not crazy. You're not dramatic. You're just finally done playing dead. I nodded once. Slow and certain. Then I gathered the folder, the flash drive, and the ultrasound photo, stood up from my chair, and faced the people who'd mistaken my silence for weakness. I'll send you the invoice, I said. Not for the money. For the damage. Then I turned to Rachel. Took that gift bag right out of her hand, flipped it upside down, and let the contents spill across the table. That onesie, cheap, wrinkled, and smug, landed front and center. I grabbed a Sharpie from my purse, uncapped it, and scrawled in thick black letters across the front. No more queens. I dropped it in her lap and walked out. I didn't go home that night. After the dinner, after the audio, the folder, the cheap joke of a onesie, I sat in my car. Parked. Engine off. Doors locked. Just me and the flash drive in my lap. It wasn't the end. Not even close. It was the beginning. They thought I'd cry. Break down. Cause a scene. They didn't realize what I'd become while they were laughing. First move, the bank. At 9:01 a.m. sharp, I called the fraud department. No tears. No begging. Just facts. I need to report unauthorized use of my credit card, I said calmly. I have audio evidence, screenshots, impersonation attempts, and 3 vendors already confirming fraud. They froze the card. Filed it under active internal investigation. Assured me the $8,326.91 would be returned in full by chargeback. I wouldn't owe a penny. Then came the kicker. Did the person impersonating you provide personal details? Yes, I said. My name, email, and even the date of my pregnancy announcement. There was a pause. Then, we'll be alerting the authorities. Second move, the vendors. I drafted a clean, professional email. Explained what happened. Attached the audio of Rachel pretending to be me. All 4 vendors responded within 12 hours. One refunded what was left of the balance without me even asking. One sent an apology and said they regretted being part of a personal dispute. One offered free services for a future event, my Rio baby shower, should I want one. But the 4th vendor? Furious. She forged a signature on our contract. The decorator wrote back. That's identity fraud. I'm contacting my attorney. Turns out, Rachel had used a free template online. Typed her name where mine belonged. What she didn't know. The vendor used digital fingerprinting. Metadata proved it wasn't signed on any of my devices. Third move, the family. I didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't post a single thing publicly. I created a Dropbox folder titled, For Those Who Asked. Inside? Everything. All 34 fraudulent transactions. Group chat screenshots. Voice recordings. Vendor emails. My sharpened name. A letter from the bank confirming the chargebacks. I shared it privately with 5 people. Aunt Diane. My godmother in Ohio. 2 cousins who have daughters. And my grandfather, the only one who ever asked how I was doing without asking for money. Within hours it spread. DMs rolled in from relatives I hadn't seen since I was a teenager. We had no idea it was this bad. Rachel said you canceled your own shower out of jealousy. I didn't respond. Let the silence do the talking. By the 4th day, Rachel's Instagram went dark. No more gold balloons. No party photos. No Queen Rachel branding. I hadn't even known she was planning a lifestyle blog called 30 and Thriving, until her ex-boyfriend messaged me out of nowhere. She told me the party was your idea. A gift. I replied with 2 words. Enjoy the screenshots. 5 minutes later, he blocked her and reposted the audio clip. His caption? Turns out the only queen here was fraudulently crowned. Then it got better. Dad's credit card got declined at Lowe's. He called me, used a new number, and left a voicemail. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you've poisoned this family. You'll regret it. And just before he hung up, we were going to reimburse you. I played that message 3 times. Then forwarded it straight to the fraud department handling my case. By week's end, the hammer dropped. Rachel got a certified letter from the event planner. Formal notice. Civil litigation for impersonation, contract violation, and damage to reputation. Didn't even know they could do that. Apparently they can. And they did. Her response? A ranty Instagram story on her backup account. Some people can't handle shared attention. Pregnancy isn't a personality trait. I screenshotted it. Added it to the folder. Sent it to the local mom group. By morning, she was banned from every group chat. Every community page. Even a prenatal yoga group she hadn't even joined yet. No one wanted the drama. Then came the text I'd been expecting. From Mom. I'm not choosing sides. But this is out of hand. Can we talk? Just you and me. No apology. No accountability. Just that same old attempt at control, wrapped in soft words like a bruise covered in makeup. She was like drugstore perfume. Overpowering. Cheap. Meant to cover rot. I texted back. There are no sides when you were never on mine. Blocked. The money was back in my account by Friday. Every cent, $8,326.91. Plus a $75 credit from the bank for inconvenience. I used it to buy something just for me. A custom walnut bassinet. Smooth curves. Polished edges. Engraved in tiny gold script. Safe. Wanted. Protected. Because my daughter will never grow up questioning her worth. She will never be treated like a backdrop to someone else's spotlight. When she was born, I didn't tell a soul. No baby pics. No name reveal. No birth announcement cards. Just one quiet post. I gave birth to peace. 7 pounds 6 ounces. No drama. No parasites. 12,000 shares.